Good morning, everyone. So I just decided to hop on. I was getting ready to do my makeup and I was like, you know what? I'll just go ahead and do it live. Why not? So good morning and welcome to Grab Your Glam. I am April Grabby and I am going to do a fall bronzed look for you today. I absolutely love fall. It's my very favorite time of year, and walking out this morning and seeing today's weather made me so excited. So that's what we're gonna do today. Hey Tracy, if you hop on, say hi. If you're watching a replay, do hashtag replay. Hi Aunt Kathy. All right, so obviously the very beginning of this is gonna be the same thing I do every day. I'm going to use the small end of my Best Blend Forever and pop that mango under my eyes for the color correction that I need under there. And the older you get, the more you need to bring your all over color up under your eyes before you try to brighten under them. And that will help you from getting like raccoon eyes later in the day. And then I just tap that out using very little product there. Okay. And then you've all heard about how obstinate my nose is, so we're doing that really cool toned ash contour on my nose before I go in with the highlight color on it. And this just helps that makeup stick on my nose. Okay, so now it's time to do my all over makeup. So I've color corrected mostly. So I'm coming back in with Mango. Hi, Megan. Coming back in with Mango, and I'm using the big end of my B squared brush now. And I'm essentially going to do my mask area, which is what I'm doing here, and my cheeks. Over there, up to where I put it on my eyes just a minute ago. I put it on my eyelids to neutralize. See all the color that I have on my eyelids? That just helps neutralize it, makes my eyeshadows more true in color, and it's a good primer for them. I'm doing my other cheek. If you notice, I'm not doing anything with the outside of my face yet, and I'll show you what I do with that in just a minute. So the great thing about Mascara Beauty is you don't have to wear it in layers because everything has its own coverage. So you really only need to put a color where you need it. And that's wonderful. That really helps with the natural look that Mascara Beauty gives. It helps to not feel heavy. It helps with not transferring because you're not wearing too much makeup. So that's one of the many, many things that I absolutely love about Mascara Beauty. All right, so the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna flip over to the big end of my B squared brush. Good morning, Carla. It's so good to see you on here again. And I am going to use Bella Bronzer, and that is what I'm gonna put around all the outside edges of my face. That warms me up and it gives me the tone that I'm looking for. All right, so I just get a little bit on my brush, and I'm gonna come right up here, up to the hairline. If you have blonde or silver or any other light color hair, be careful not to get it on your hair. But if you do, our microfiber cloths with our skincare works wonders to get that off. Just get a little bit wet and rub your hair and it'll come right off. Okay, I'm gonna bring it down my temples. I accidentally got a little bit of indigo in that brush. That's okay. And you see that I'm moving it towards where I put that mango now that I get down on my cheeks. And that's gonna ensure that I don't have any pieces of skin that is missing makeup at all. Bring it down my temples and onto my cheeks and jawline. Okay. And you see how that just kind of framed my face and made the center seem much more light and bright and gave me that warmth that I was looking for as well. I absolutely love Bella. And you can use as much or as little of this as you want. If you want more of a warm bronzy look, use the heck out of this stuff, man. Okay, so at this point, I use my handy dandy little perfector sponge, and I just go over and make sure I don't have any excess makeup piled up anywhere, and blend what I do have on so far. Okay, so now you can see that my face is pretty much done except for like contouring and things. I am going to put that highlight color that goes on my nose, which for me is Sandy. I'm going to lightly apply that with my, I keep accidentally dipping in the wrong one. I'm going to lightly apply that with my small end of my B-squared brush. Try to get some of that light off. My Sandy's almost gone. It just came back in stock last night, so I'll have to order more. Okay. Now my nose is taken care of. We'll get that white peach off there. All right, so my next step is contour. And the reason I don't do my contour first is because I have a lot of discoloration in my face that I need to take care of before I put my contour over it. So most women can do their contour first, do their all over color around it, and then you really don't have any layers. All right, so I am using indigo, and I just freshened this up. It's a new thing. So if you ever notice your contours are getting maybe not as dark as they used to be, or they're harder to get out of the tin, just pop them on a cookie sheet or your flat iron or something like that, and melt them down, and that will make them nice and creamy again once they cool. All right, so now I'm just blending this in. I don't have any more product on my brush. And I like to use this brush to blend. It gives a very soft appearance to your contour. If you're one that likes your contour much more defined, then the Detail Hack is a great brush for that. When you hop on, say hi, tell me who you are. Again, we are doing a fall bronze look. Okay, there's our contour. And I'm going to use Ash, which is what I put on my nose originally, to contour my nose. And I'm just, good morning, Kat. Good morning, Wanda. I am just running this down the sides of my nose, kind of in a dabbing motion. I don't swipe on my nose. My nose doesn't like that. It's just like that. And again, I like using a lighter contour on my nose because it makes it easier to blend, and it's not as noticeable that you've contoured your nose. Again, you can always use a darker color if you want that more noticeable. Also, I just really need to use cool tones on my nose. It's what does best with it. So there's that. And then I take White Peach, which is my brightening highlight. I just put a little bit on my pinky, and I'm going to right down the middle. And that is what people are going to notice instead of the sides that I shaded. And that is how it makes your nose look thinner. And in my case, also straighter. Okay. Obviously, I'll blend that out in just a little bit. Don't leave it like that. I mean, you can, I guess, if you really want, but I don't suggest it. Hi, Liza. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and brighten everywhere else. Pop just a little bit under my contour here. the center of my chin, whatever this thing's called. Right here in the middle of my forehead between my eyes. So as you can tell, I'm keeping the brightening right here in the center. I want to keep this area nice and bright and light. And then I'm mixing Sandy and White Peach for my under eye. I'm starting here in the corner, drawing it down, and then going beyond my bag and up the corner of my eye. Okay, and then the last one I do is right here on my marionette lines with that Sandy White Peach mix. Okay, so we're looking a little crazy about now, but that's okay. All right, then the colors that I want to use for my lip and cheek, I am going to be mixing, let's see, there, Hollywood and Sandstone. I absolutely love this combination, and it's so perfect for fall. If you want it a little darker, just add a little more Sandstone. If you want a little lighter, add a little more Hollywood. Okay, and I'm just running that right along my cheekbones. I'm staying out of this area and this area. Okay, and then I'm gonna wipe my brush off and use it to just kind of blend that a little bit. Okay. I'm gonna make sure I'm staying nice and bright in those areas. So if I go a little too far with my brush, I'll just flip it over to where that brightening high color was. Hi, Amber. And put a little bit of that in there. Now, the reason I tap my brightener out is because it starts the blending process and makes it much easier on my brush and Perfector sponge to blend. And under my eyes, I want to make sure that it's not settling into any lines and I don't have too much there. So, okay, now it's time for our Magic Perfector sponge again. And we're just going to go everywhere where we just put anything. Don't be afraid to use all areas of your sponge. Okay, so there's the base for our beautiful fall bronzed look. Next thing that I do is my setting powder, which for me, I love the Hourglass Veil Mineral Loose Setting Powder. And I use it with my Power Powder Brush, this guy right here. And I just put some on my brush and tap the excess off. And then I tap it on my nose. And then under my eyes. Center of my forehead. Chin and along my jawline where I touch my face a lot. Okay, and then I'm going to let that sit while I do my brows. All right, so for my brows, I use the Hotline brush. Yeah, there you go. And I use a mixture of Arabian Nights Cream Eyeshadow and Trust. And the reason I mix the two is I feel like with the cream, I get a little bit more structure than just using eyeshadow. But I don't want it as creamy as it would be if I used contour. So I'm gonna start lining that bottom, sticking with my natural shape. And then I'm going to use what I have on my brush to do the front. And then we're just going to continue to follow our shape up, making sure that you brush in the direction that your hair grows. I like to kind of square my ends off. You can also keep them rounded. And if you feel like you've got a spot that's darker than the rest of it, just flip it over to the spoolie end and brush through that. And it'll take some of that excess pigment out. Okay, I'm not like some brow wizard, so I just kind of hope for the best every day, and some days they look great and other days they don't. So I'm gonna go on to the next one, and I really need to groom my brows, so that doesn't help. You hop on, say hi. Thanks for joining us this morning. Doing a bronzy fall look. We're just getting ready to get amped up in just a minute. Okay. I would literally fiddle with these things like for hours because I just really want microblading so I don't have to. Because I never feel like they look just right. All right, well, we're gonna leave that the way they are. Okay, now I'm gonna take the big fluffy end of my B-squared brush, and I'm just gonna dust off that powder. Okay. All right. The next thing I want to do is use a nice warm bronzer, which I think I'm going to use Dolce. Hi, Sherry. So I have been using all powder bronzers. This is a cream bronzer. So I'm going to put it on my Perfector sponge and kind of roll it where I want it. And that is going to help it stay blended. You can see that pretty bronzy glow. See that? Dolce is actually the name of the reunion that we're supposed to be at right now in Vegas, but it's virtual starting tomorrow night. Hi, Nicole. All right, so I'm gonna put a little bit of that down my nose. And across my lips. Okay. Now, if you wanted to like amp that glowy, bronzy look up, I would suggest using our powder illuminators, either in, trying to get it out for you. I just stuck my finger in it. Either in Goldie or Georgia. Okay, and I put our powder illuminators on with this Best Blend Forever brush. And what I do is I basically just kind of swipe it in and then I dab it off, and then you can lightly add it. We're just gonna be all kinds of glowy today. Okay, and then wipe your brush off really well. and then use it to make sure that's nice and blended and you don't have like clumps or weird places with it. Okay, now we're like superstar shiny. All right, so that was Georgia that I used, that darker bronzy one. All right, now that we bronzed the heck out of our face, I am going to use the setting spray that I've been using called Fitish. You can get it right on their website. I still love Stay Spray. I like this one because it feels more like a hairspray. And it works better in the elements that I tend to be in, especially on the weekends, with sweating in riding glasses and all that fun stuff that I do. So, and getting caught in rain and things like that. All right, so for our bronzed look, I'm going to use, let's see, so we'll use some of these colors. All right, so I think I'm gonna start with a mixture of Leo and Zion. And then we're going to add in probably some ginger and maybe even some Dollywood. And then of course, I'll do a darker piece as well. So the first thing I'm gonna do is put down what we call a transition shade. And that is going to be a very light color that adds very little actual color, but it helps all of your other eyeshadows blend well and be true to their colors. So I'm using, it's called Stay Golden. And again, it's adding very little color, but it is just laying down a nice little barrier to help everything blend easily. Okay, then I'm gonna dip right into that Leo and Zion. So Leo's up here, Zion's down here. And I just swirl it in both and then tap off the excess. That's going right on my crease and just above. I have hooded eyes, so I always go just above as well. And I am using the Eyeshadow Everything brush for this. Okay, and then for the, let's see, I'm gonna go ahead and put just a really light layer on my lid also. Okay, and then I'm gonna take ginger. So ginger is a shimmer. It's not a big glitter, it's a shimmer. And I am going to put it right here on my lid. And this is almost like a copper color, if you can see that. If you want to add a little gold to it, you can use Bright Eyes or Blondie, either one. And it adds just a little bit of a gold to kind of neutralize some of that copper. But these colors are absolutely gorgeous on any eye color. Mix a little bit of that Bright Eyes in. Okay. So ginger and Bright Eyes definitely pack a punch. So how can you lift the eye and make it look bigger? So by using a lighter shade up by your brow and a brightening shade here in the corner of your eye. All right. I'm going to bring in a darker color to be here at my corner and under my lash line. And I'm going to use Cocoa for that, which is this warm brown. and I flipped over to the small end of my eyeshadow everything. I'm gonna start brushing it into that corner and bringing it down. I'm gonna flip it over and kind of pat it and move it where I want it. And with eyeshadow, you don't ever want to just get a ton on a brush and try to put it down. Then it's gonna look spotty. You're not gonna be able to move it and adjust it and get it the way you want it. You really want to use just a little bit on your brush, put it where you want it, you know, move it around with the big fluffy end or blend it. And then if you decide you want it darker, go in with another layer. It's much, much easier to work with. Okay, so again, we're using Cocoa with the small end of the eyeshadow everything brush. And we're using it on that outer V and then running it under the lash line. And we're just building up this color. Remember, we're using small layers to build color up rather than trying to put it all on at once. And Mascara Beauty makes this so easy to do with their double-ended brushes. I'm literally just flipping back and forth to do this, and I've only used one brush for this entire look so far. Okay? And then I'm gonna kind of wipe that tip off. And then I'm gonna come in with what's gonna help me lift and open up my eyes. So today I'm going to use Cupcake and Sabrina. And if you notice, they're very, very similar in color. Cupcake is a matte and Sabrina is a shimmer. Okay, and you just run that right up along your lash line and blend it down into your color. Okay, if you feel like you lose a little bit too much color, just flip your brush over and blend some color back on there. Okay, and then I'm gonna take just Sabrina, the shimmery one, and probably a little bit of Goldie, and right here in the corners to make that eye look more open and awake and bright. Okay. All right. So there is our bronzy fall eye look. Add a little bit more here and here. I feel like this eye never gets as dark as the other one for some reason. Meantime, I'm just kind of patting it in place. Aw, thank you. I think you are too. Okay, there we go. All right, so next, oh, my hand hurts from holding that big palette. Next, we are going to do lips. This is the look I want to try when we meet up. Okay, perfect. All right, so I'm gonna do lips. I always start my lips with indigo, which is the same thing that I use, thank you, Sherry, for my contour. And I'm gonna, this is the multitasker brush. I'm using this tiny little end to line. And okay, I need y'all's input. Should I use the same mixture that I put on my cheeks, which is Hollywood and Sandstone, or should I do a super neutral bronzy lip? Let me know. So we're just using this multitasker to line. What do y'all think? Sandstone and Hollywood or neutral bronze lip? Neutral bronze lip. Okay. Okay. This neutral bronze lip, what is the neutral? Well, we don't have one. You got to create one. That's what I'm going to show you how to do. All right, so start with indigo. And then I am going to mix. Y'all, hold on for this. It's going to be like a mixture. Okay. So we are mixing some, and let me get this out so I can show you. So we are going to be mixing Petal, Bella, and Georgia. How crazy is that? Okay, here we go. All right, so I'm gonna start off by mixing a little bit of Bella with a little bit of Petal. That's already getting us off to. Hi, Nicole. Neutral all the way. Well, yes, I know you would say neutral. So you want to make sure that you brush up to where you lined so you don't have that line, like super visible line all around your lips. And when you line and when you put on lipstick, start from here and go up. That gives it a more natural curved shape. Okay. There's our base. Okay. Now, how to amp it up into that bronzy look is take your Georgia Powder Illuminator. And pat it on. Now, you don't need a lot. And because my lips tend to blend into my top lip, I'm gonna define that again just a little bit. Hi, Christina. Okay. So at this point, I feel like this is too light for me, for my complexion. So I'm gonna add some Bella here. You still get to keep that nice shimmer that the Georgia Illuminator gave you. Now, from here, you can adjust for your skin tone. So I feel like I need something with a little more pink in it. So I'm just going to add in some nude. Okay, and that just gave me, I'm trying to see over comments. That just gave me a little bit pinker of a look. Okay, and if you feel like you're losing that shimmer, but don't want it all over again, take your illuminator, just tap your finger in it, and go right here. By putting it just in the center, it makes your lips look bigger, wider, more full. Okay, there we are, neutral lip, which I think looks so weird on me, but it's because I'm used to bold. All right, so the moral of that story for you girls is don't be afraid to mix and match. You're going to come up with a color that you like 9 times out of 10, and if you don't, it's cream. It wipes right off. It's not like you're stuck with it for the next 72 hours like some lipsticks. We all know what I'm talking about, okay? So have fun with the lipsticks colors that you have. Play around, create new colors. It's one of the best things about Mascara Beauty is how you can put products together to create whole new ones. It's fantastic. Okay, I have a hair on my lip or something. Probably from the crazy one running around. All right, hi Colleen, thanks for joining us. So there is our fall bronzed look in honor of the amazing weather today that we're having here in Indiana. I'll take after pictures after I put some mascara on, and I will post the colors that I used. And if you are interested in purchasing any of these colors, just go to makeupwithaprilg.com and purchase those. So if y'all have any questions, leave them in the comments. Feel free to share away, and I will see you all later. Bye. Thank you, Carla.